Hello folks, this is the internet. No, it isn't. It is CompuServe, Genie, AOL, I guess, and it was written in 1990, that is 3 years before the World Wide Web took off, written by Alfred Glossbrenner. Glossbrenner is a German word, basically. It comes from, I think, Glasbrenner, which means craftsmanship, creating sophisticated glass objects like vases made of glass, and you need to, of course, heat it up in order to create such models. Anyway, Alfred Glossbrenner is the author of this book from 1990. He wrote lots of books, and I'll show you a few now, and later on we'll dive into Delphi, maybe not. I don't actually know. This will be a short video.
So we're talking about Alfred Glossbrenner's complete handbook of personal computer communications, the Bible of the online world. The all-new 3rd edition. I think there were further editions, 4th or 5th. I don't know. I just rely on this book, and it's an amazing book. It's very rich in terms of content about 1990, which was 3 years before the World Wide Web took off. It starts with an introduction to the, getting online world for computers. I quote, "Virtually every personal computer available today," that's 1990, "has the ability to take its owner online. You need only add a plug-in circuit board, a cable, a device called a modem, and some software. But in many cases you may not need any additional equipment at all, since a growing number of computer manufacturers have begun to build communication circuitry and even modems into their machines." Yes, very true. The book is much more technical than many other books from that era. And for example, here is an explanation of what a null modem is. Chapter 5 is the probably most important one. It's about CompuServe. CompuServe was the online service at that time. And it was not cheap to access. If you had a modem with a speed of 300 baud, you paid $6. And if you had a faster modem, 1200 or 2400, you would pay double price. That is $12.50. That means the information, it was expensive at that time. In CompuServe you had lots and lots of forums. I did a radio broadcast, a long broadcast actually, very in-depth, with many interviews. I visited the center in Columbus, Ohio, and I used to know many of the forums here. For example, the Aviation Forum, the FSIC, or the Autodesk Software Forum, the Atari ST Arts Forum, etc. A competitor of CompuServe was Genie, a company by General Electric, of course with different access rates, sometimes cheaper. It depended on the time of day, it depended on the era where you lived in, etc. Delphi or Delphi is a service which I did not know and I did not realize at that time, but it was a competitor of Genie and CompuServe, and it had access rates of $17.40, not depending on the speed of the modem. The book is pretty thick, and here we have a chapter about Dow Jones News and Retrieval. That means dedicated online services dedicated to special interests like the Dow Jones. And here you have quite expensive access rates, obviously. For your interest, the system's newsletter and help section is free. Other rates vary from $168 per hour to $26.40 per hour, depending on the database, the time of day, speed of communication, and subscription plan. Before all that, before CompuServe started taking off, you had the bulletin boards. In German it was called mailbox services, and the bulletin boards were very impressive because they're basically computers under the beds of nerds, and they would communicate with other computers under the beds of other nerds. Chaotic and marvelous. Of course, you wanted to find information about, well, aviation, for example. And here is a chapter about how to find the information you want. As a new online searcher, it is tempting to believe that because it is more complete, a full-text database is ipso facto better than one offering bibcities and abstracts, but that is definitely not the case. In fact, much of the time exactly the opposite is true. A database of abstracts is usually much easier to search. Unless you're looking for a very specific and unique combination of words, searching a full-text database can be treacherous. Of course, yeah, we know that all now. It's a never-ending discussion whether the newspapers suffer from the internet. And here in 1990, it was the case with CompuServe, Genie and other online services. Could they threaten the newspapers? And the author here quotes another author who states that there's no threat at all. So the newspapers on paper actually will prevail. Chapter 23. Why fax? Fax was quite usual at that time with fax machines, but not with fax interfaces on computers. That's what this chapter is about. And finally, at the end of the book, you find, well, coupons. Here you find a coupon for MCI mail, for example, worth $25. Of course, totally obsolete these days. A Glossbrenner guide. Well, Alfred Glossbrenner, this is his website now. He wrote, I think, 50 books, and some of them together with his wife. Just a selection of 6 of his books here. One was written in 1994, The Internet 101, a college student's guide. Well, that was 1 year after the World Wide Web started. Here is a book from 1995, Finding a Job on the Internet, very early. 1995, the same year, Online Sources for Business, on the Internet, obviously. Here we have Search Engines for the World Wide Web from 1997. That was before Google took off. About the author is something totally different. It doesn't have to do with the internet at all. A book about authors, popular authors, from the year 2000. And here we have a book from 2008, Smart Guide to Managing Personal Finance, written by Alfred and Emily Glossbrenner.
I have lots of historic computer books about programming, about the history of the Macintosh computer, IBM compatibles, about syntax and table programming, etc. Anyway, by the way, in this channel you find over 400 tutorials about 3D computer animation using Autodesk Maya, which is one of the most sophisticated programs in the world, I guess, for 3D animations. I currently don't follow that thread anymore. I don't create new tutorials about 3D animation. One of the reasons is that I think 400 or 500 are enough for now. They cover most aspects of this program and of this technology. Well, anyway, have a nice day.